Well, what do you know? Here we are, folks. Another gorgeous day for Jim Wilson's FNN Fishing News Network.com, and it wouldn't be complete without the lovely Miss Pat.
Hey, Jim. How are you today, bud?
I am doing great, and it's so good to see you.
Thank you.
But before we get off on talking about some of our stuff, I do have to take a poignant moment to tell you that over the past couple of weeks, I've had a very severe scare in my life. My dear son, 51-year-old Fletcher Wilson, he's the young man who in 1987 climbed Mount Everest, and then in 88 almost made the U.S. Olympic ski team. Unfortunately, had some serious failures of some of his organs, and has been in the main medical center under careful watch for the last 2 weeks. I had originally made plans to go up, but some things changed. He's making some improvement. His sister's there. Other members of the family have been there. And we just want to ask you to think of Fletcher, keep him in your prayers, because he is a wonderful young man, and I have to tell you that it's so difficult not to want to be there, but then he's on such contained quarters that you're only allowed in there about 5 minutes a day. It's not like you can stay in the room with him. And until he gets so that he can have more visitation, I'm probably going to be waiting. But
yes, folks, just please pray for Fletcher. We just would appreciate your prayers so much, and we thank you so much.
And that's why you missed me last week. We had a repeat, but this week we're back here. We have the doggies if they'll stay up here and cooperate. And what else has been going on? You've been finally have the summer to yourself.
I'm having a little downtime right now. Yay! Finished testing blind babies, and yeah, we're having a little bit of time.
Fishing has been so crazy and
It
off and on.
has.
We
It
went a
has been
week or
very
so
crazy.
ago with our friend Noel Stafford, and while snapper was still open,
Yeah.
we did catch. You and I caught between us 3 nice keeper snapper.
We did.
And then trolling around the whistle buoy, I think we caught 5 nice king mackerel.
Yeah, that was a great day fishing.
So it was a good day. But we've been hearing different reports, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that the water is just so stained and still hasn't cleared up that it's definitely having its problems. And we want to, by the way, we're going to be introducing you in a minute again to Dale Arnold, because we're down here at Stems Astern, and the marina looked like a nice place for a nice day. A little competition from the U.S. Air Force, reminding it they're keeping us safe.
Woo! That was a loud one right there, Jim. But folks, you need to come down here to Stem to Stern. It is a great place. They have so many parts, and it's all consignment. So it is a unique and one-of-a-kind place to come.
It's
for
almost
boat
like
parts.
a flea market, but Dale's going to tell us all about
Yes,
that.
he will.
And we hope that you'll continue to send me your pictures. Remember our website. Well, first of all, my email address is so simple now. jimsfnn@gmail.com. We'll have them on TV, we'll have them on the website, and you'll be able to see them. And here comes another
one. And there is no apostrophe in that, Jim's, and it's all lowercase.
Yeah, it's just JIMS-FNN Fishing News Network at gmail.com.
That's right. But it is a beautiful day out here, Jim. My gosh, it's pretty.
Oh yeah, it's a gorgeous day after so much rain that we've had, and
yeah.
A lot of your places up there in Washington County have been flooded.
Flooded, yes, that's right.
So we're lucky here that we still are surviving okay. And we do have grouper season is open right now. You can
I love grouper.
Gag grouper and red grouper. So triggerfish again is closed, and of course, as usual, the king crab is standing there behind the curtain, pulling the rods and pulling the strings. And I was talking, of course, about Dr. Roy Crabtree, National Marine Fisheries Service. He's the guy that's controlling all of what's happening down here. But hopefully, it's going to be improving. And as you all know, who does all the cooking?
Jim does all the cooking. I'm very, very blessed.
And who does all the shopping?
Jim does the shopping.
And where does he go? Tanya's.
Yes, Tanya's for all of our fruits and vegetables.
It's all so great, and she's got a little menagerie up there that's so much fun for the kids to see. The big peacock comes down late afternoon and struts around.
Yep.
But Tanya's is right there on Highway 77, just north, just across the street from Sowell Tractor and just north of the mall. Come on, Heidi, now stay up here and be a good girl. Got kind of a small table to hold them, but they're getting a little anxious. And my friends over at AMW Trailer, they've been building trailers, aluminum and galvanized, since the 50s. They can custom build. They have all the parts if you need to repair something. And of course, they've just built a new trailer for me for my 17-foot squareback canoe. So drop in and see them at AMW Trailers right there in Millville, where the new supermarket's going to be opening. And later on, after we're going to finish up the show with some salmon fishing.
Salmon fishing!
With you and me in Alaska.
That's right, and that's why I've got my whale's tail on, Jim.
Yep,
That's what you
the
bought me
whale
up in
tail from
Alaska.
And
I love it.
we
And
caught some beautiful
we had
salmon.
so much fun.
So
Oh
we'll be
my
back
gosh.
right after this break.
For everything you need on or off the water, visit the Panama City and St. Andrews Marinas. Both locations provide you with easy access boat slips, ramps, fuel, bait, and tackle. Come visit our ship stores and see our unique nautical gifts and clothing, or just relax with a cool drink and grab a snack while watching the boats come in.
Don't forget that Mariner on your shopping list. Come by and see our unique nautical gifts, cards, and clothing at Panama City or St. Andrews Marina. Call 872-7272 for more information.
Meet Henson Hindenburg, king of the road at Baytown Tire, 2609 West 15th Street, just before the curve. For 20 years, he's taken care of your cars, trucks, and commercial vehicles. Baytown Tire carries tires including Michelin, Yokohama, BF Goodrich, and Uniroyal. A new set gets free rotation every 6 months. Alignment is done on the latest digital equipment, and his diagnostic can read all your computer info for proper repairs. All his service folks are ASE certified. Give him a call today at 873-8900.
Hi folks, Larry Lee here at Coin and Bullion Reserves. The Swiss government has requested that the Federal Reserve return to it all of the gold bullion which it has long had deposited at Fort Knox. Do they know something you and I don't? Well, I think I do know. And I think it may be time for you to consider buying some gold and silver too. And no one will sell you gold and silver cheaper than Coin and Bullion Reserves. And you can take that to the bank.
Coin and Bullion Reserves.
How will the new healthcare regulations affect you? Call Mike Nichols at Nichols & Associates, your local Florida Blue agency for the answers. Stop by today or call 747-0288.
Need a storage shed, pole barn, or garage? Who do you call? Two-time site-built buildings. They come completely prefabbed with aluminum siding and 3/4-inch floors. Constructed on your property by James McConnell and his crew. With no middleman, his prices is lower, and with easy payment terms. Here's my 12-foot by 20-foot shed that went through a 3-foot gate and anchored like a mobile home. He's been building here for 15 years. See the samples at 3822 Highway 98 in Springfield, and call today at 850-257-5729. When you want your lawn to go from this to this, you need to call Leroy Dennis and his helper Bill Grimes. They can do it in one day. Not only that, but Leroy offers discounts to seniors and active and former military. He and his partner can handle any commercial jobs. Don't wait to give them a call at 358-6696. Guess what? If you aren't satisfied, I'll pay for it myself. Don't delay. Call the experts now and look great tomorrow. Dale Arnold, stem to stern.
Hey Jim, how are you?
Well, it's so nice to be back together, and you've got such a unique kind of store here.
Yes, we have everything marine.
Everything, and do you have any artifacts?
Yes, sir. We have several salvaged items from boats that pre-century, port lights and propellers, bronze items, and things that you wouldn't see at West Marine or some of the newer places.
Some of the helm gear?
Yes, sir. We have a couple of wheels and other items, old compasses that would be very, very old.
Well, it's a unique store, and the thing is, because I've been here when I've watched some people come in, people that have older boats sometimes have a hard time replacing older stuff.
Yes, sir. We try to keep anything that someone might throw away, bring down here, because there's someone who will need something that you might have.
And it's mostly everything you have in there is pure consignment, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Almost everything is consignment.
Do you carry any new items?
Yes, sir. We carry everything from scuba diving gear. We have brand new scuba diving tanks and Cressy gear to fishing poles and fishing equipment.
Okay. So, and of course your partner Laurie is
Yeah.
would have been here, but she's got.
Yeah, she's with her dad today. We keep him in our prayers.
Yeah.
He's not been well, and hopefully he'll recover better.
Well, like I say, let's hope he's joins me on keeping on this side of the grass.
Yes, sir.
So, aside from that, the marina looks like you're pretty filled up.
Yes, sir. Out of the 53 or 54 slips we have, I think we only have 4 slips or 5 slips left.
Wow, well, that's fantastic, and a lot of activity going on here.
Yes, sir. We have activities here in the evening. We have social hour. We saw families going out during the week this week. The weather's been a little iffy with all the rain that we've had, but people have been here and braved the weather.
And let's give people. I have to tell you, I had a problem finding your phone number.
Well,
So let's remind them.
Yeah, well, we are in the yellow pages, and I did check today, and a couple of the ones that they delivered anyway they were in. Our number is 866-8699, but we're at 225 East Beach Drive here in Panama City, across from Tarpon Dock.
Yeah, Tarpon Dock and Second Chance.
Yes, sir.
And of course, PCMI is right almost next to
Yes, right diagonal from us, and we're right down from where the old Hawk's Nest used to be.
Exactly. Okay. And do you have any outboard motors for sale right now? Because people are always looking for those.
Oh yeah, yes sir. We have a couple of Mercury 6 horses. We have a Mariner 5 horse, another old Ocean Seahorse 7.5, and so on.
Okay, because you know, and I see you once in a while in Craigslist on the boats.
Yes sir. We do a lot. We do the majority of our consignments are on Craigslist or eBay, Sailor's Guide, Ships and Harbors, and a few other advertisements in the area.
Yeah, well, it's all good stuff, and it is so fascinating. I noticed, what do you have in electronics, by the way? Because there's another area people are looking for.
Well, we have everything from radar to bottom finders, fish finders, side scan machines, and then we have GPS chart plotters, some VHF radios.
And you do some servicing here too, don't you? Some fiberglass repair?
Yes, sir. We do not so much fiberglass as we do gel coat detailing of boats.
Yeah.
And then we do rigging. And then another part of our sideline is we bottom clean. We do the bottom cleaning on, we have about 41 or 42 clients that we take care of their boats on a monthly basis.
That's, bottom cleaning is, you do that underwater scuba type, don't you?
Yes, sir.
I wasn't sure how that's done.
It's done very carefully. We go under each and every boat with care, knowing that these vessels are someone else's, and we remove barnacles and slime and replace zincs and make sure that their running gear is clean so they can go out and have a good time and not be slowed down by undergrowth.
And carburetors and things, you can do that sort of servicing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We do minor repairs and maintenance. We'll pull out the heat exchanger of your boat and clean it out so the engine will cool and run more efficient.
And one of the things I continue to remind people, if you've got especially a 2-cycle engine, nothing but ethanol-free fuel.
Correct. Don't run ethanol in your outboards because it ruins the hoses, gums up the carburetors. It's just not a good thing. And there's several places here in Panama City, a couple on 15th, that advertise ethanol-free.
And it can even damage fuel tanks in some of the boats, can't it?
Yes, sir, it can. The ethanol will eat up aluminum. If they're a steel tank, they leave a black gummy residue, and it'll end up in your carburetor anyway.
Well, listen, I'm going to let you finish up with the last word. So, what do you need to tell folks?
Well, first of all, Lori's not here with us today, but Lori would have me have me tell you that we have a social hour every evening at 5:30. Come on down, see what we have a cup of coffee or a beverage, and see us, meet us, and say hi.
What are your hours?
Our hours are 8 a.m. till 4:30 p.m. I'm sorry, Tuesday through Saturday.
Okay, Tuesday through Saturday, so you're closed Sunday, Monday.
Yes, sir.
All right, and you both do chartering.
Yes, sir. We're both licensed 100-ton captains. We charter for Mike Plitman on the fair trades. We also charter the La Lee, which is a 30-foot Catalina, and we also teach sailing here at our shop and out at St. Andrews Marina.
So, but you don't do any fishing charters.
No, sir. I'm hoping to learn how to fish, so keep good association with us.
All right, we'll try to do it. Well, folks, we've had a wonderful time again visiting here, and I want to thank you again, Dale. We're sorry that Laurie's not here, and no fire dancer today.
No fire dancer today, but we'll have other events come up.
All right, and remember, coming right up, you'll get to see Pat and me when we're up in Talkeetna and out salmon fishing with Mount McKinley in the background.
Hi folks, Larry Lee here at Coin and Bullion Reserves. The Swiss government has requested that the Federal Reserve return to it all of the gold bullion which it has long had deposited at Fort Knox. Do they know something you and I don't? Well, I think I do know. And I think it may be time for you to consider buying some gold and silver too. And no one will sell you gold and silver cheaper than Coin and Bullion Reserves. And you can take that to the bank.
Coin and Bullion Reserves.
Meet Henson Hindenburg, king of the road at Baytown Tire, 2609 West 15th Street, just before the curve. For 20 years, he's taken care of your cars, trucks, and commercial vehicles. Baytown Tire carries tires including Michelin, Yokohama, BF, Goodrich, and Uniroyal. A new set gets free rotation every 6 months. Alignment is done on the latest digital equipment, and his diagnostic can read all your computer info for proper repairs. All his service folks are ASE certified. Give him a call today at 873-8900.
The Captain Anderson makes fishing a breeze. There's a galley on board, and your comfortable trip is all-inclusive. Rod, reel, tackle, bait, and your fishing license. The traditional all-day trip from 7 to 5 p.m. Come aboard the Captain Anderson for a relaxing day of bottom fishing. There's plenty of room, so bring the whole family. It's a whopping big adventure, and that's no fishtail. The Captain Anderson is located at Captain Anderson's Marina, where the fish are always biting and the kids are always smiling. Please call for cruise schedules.
When was the last time you took a few minutes out of your busy schedule to enjoy the simple things? The wide open spaces, the uncharted territory, the moments that seem to stick with you for a lifetime. Well, what are you waiting for? Half hitch. Get out there.
How will the new healthcare regulations affect you? Call Mike Nichols at Nichols & Associates, your local Florida Blue agency for the answers. Stop by today or call 747-0288.
Need a storage shed, pole barn, or garage? Who do you call? Two-time site-built buildings. They come completely prefabbed with aluminum siding and 3/4-inch floors. Constructed on your property by James McConnell and his crew. With no middleman, his prices is lower, with easy payment terms. Here's my 12-foot by 20-foot shed that went through a 3-foot gate and anchored like a mobile home. He's been building here for 15 years. See the samples at 3822 Highway 98 in Springfield and call today at 850-257-5729. When you want your lawn to go from this to this, you need to call Leroy Dennis and his helper Bill Grimes. They can do it in one day. Not only that, but Leroy offers discounts to seniors and active and former military. He and his partner can handle any commercial jobs. Don't wait to give them a call at 358-6696. Guess what? If you aren't satisfied, I'll pay for it myself. Don't delay. Call the experts now and look great tomorrow. Well, hope you're still there, because coming up we've got some exciting salmon fishing trip in Alaska. It was our first trip to Alaska for Pat and me a little over 10 years ago. And we went out of Talkeetna with Talkeetna River Guides, and it was a phenomenal trip. This crystal clear creek, it wasn't quite a river, which the salmon were lined up in it like cordwood. And it was just simply an unbelievable trip. And it was a beautiful, clear day, and Mount McKinley was just standing out unbelievable. So take a watch, and I think you'll want to go to Alaska and try it yourself. And it's about this same time of the year.
A little airplane. That's a Piper Super Cub flown by one of the best in the business, a bush pilot named Bill Johnson. He learned how to say. Now here he comes. He's got the tail off the ground already. Throttle the firewall. 40 miles an hour. Here's me right about here. Got it. While he's going around, let me tell you an interesting story. And then they started filling out the paperwork. Now, doctors are required to certify, as you know, where the baby was born. Since the doctors weren't there, they didn't know what to write. Downstream, right there where you can see Discovery 1, that little boat downriver we'll tell you about later. He'll do an S-curve right in here now, just over the pump house. He's dropping altitude. Now, he'll bank the plane rather sharply. A little bit of a drop now, banking again. Now, see that airplane down at the far end of the runway? Look just beyond it. There's some willows on the riverbank. Watch him trim the top of the hedge right here. Always like to have to do the lawn work for us there. There he goes. And right in and down, a nice, smooth, silky landing. He'll come to a stop well before he reaches the bow of Discovery 3. What a magnificent way to start the day. Beautiful reflection in the water of the boats, the planes, and fantastic. On the Yukon and Tanana River drainage. They came up here, folks, for just one thing, and that was for gold. Now, in order to mine gold, you've got to have a great deal of water. Over here on the right, you see the pump house. Behind the pump house, there's a ridge. Behind that ridge is a very rich gold field. The trouble was, that water just tripled green. There was no water. So they had to pump the water out of this river to the pump house and use electric to it. Right there, you can see our lead deckhand. That is Eric. And you know, catch these guys in khaki uniforms. Very proud of our crew. They'll take care of business. Our first mate don't want to. The other nice thing is you don't have to sit. You don't want to move anytime. Change position in the boat only for a moment to take work with.
You can see how those are all handmade, hand cut. People go out.
And they build them home with a nice and tight little log to fit together. Let the house sit for a year before you cut the doors and windows, and keep the fresh water flowing into the house and the wastewater flowing out as it's below. There you can see on your monitor Susan Butcher coming down the main street of Nome to finish up the race. Pick up the trophy for the 1990 race. By the way, the trophy for the 1990 race, Susan Butcher's trophy, is outside the galley down on the main deck. And on your monitors right now, you'll see the great lead dog, Granite.
Susan Butcher, by the way, won the Iditarod for 4 different years, and just 3 months before we were there on this, or 2 months, she had just had a new baby. So she's an active young lady.
Our first 10 days in their life, they have a very good sense of smell. And so we'll pick up each puppy individually and blow across their noses. And people start to get a sense of us right from the beginning. And this bonding, of course, continues throughout their entire lives, but it is most important here in the early. It will never ask them to go any farther or faster than they're capable of.
So when you get on these puppy walks like this, Susan, are you able to observe their behavior and pick out any future leaders?
Well, this is a very consistent litter, but I do have a favorite in here, but it doesn't mean that that one's going to be the best sled dog. We've actually learned that it in about 5 months. And what we do is take one adult leader out in front and 4 to 6 puppies behind that have never been in harness, and it's so instinctive in them to pull that within just a minute or two they start to look like a small adult team of dogs. So we actually have a saying here at the kennel that it only takes us 2 minutes to teach them to go, but about 2 years to teach them to whoa.
A little bit like a teenager with a driver's license, these guys. Susan Butcher, congratulatory Sky Monson Butcher, or Butcher Monson, a name longer than the baby herself, but we do congratulate you once again. And folks, let's say thank you once again to Susan Butcher. Now, I want to show you a couple things on very creative guy. He's got the heavy sod roof on top. He's got the vertical wall construction, very rustic in design. Doing a little dirt work out there, operating the tap, contacting from in here to the flower in your kitchen. So we call it glacial flower. It stays in suspension in the Tanana River.
Amazing the line on the water.
This all stays in suspension in the Tanana River, and it gives the water an interesting milky coloration. You can see this river, the Chena, is backed up behind the Tanana and is almost at a dead standstill. So some of the silt actually works its way up into the mouth of the Chena River. But if you look over the side, you'll see dozens upon dozens of smaller glacier rivers, and finally builds up into this great Tanana River, which runs halfway across the state, joins up with the Yukon River, and flows another 1,000 miles to the Bering Sea. The salmon come out of the Bering Sea, swim 1,000 miles of the Yukon River, 200 miles of the Tanana River, to get to the Chena River, where they go upstream to spawn. And there are a number of these clear side streams where they go up to lay their eggs. Now this is a brace wheel is operated under an educational permit with the state of Alaska, so we have that box set up so the salmon will fall back in the water rather than be contained in the box. We'll stop the fish wheel on the way upstream. Captain John's showing us a little bit.
That always visit us at fish camp. So we have a lot more canvas Wilsons like the two over here at camp. Very comfortable to stay in those all summer. We fix them up really nice. Sometimes if it gets chilly at night, we just build a fire in the wall tents. But it's really exciting for the whole family to be able to spend all summer outside, especially after being inside most of the winter. And our smokehouse is much like this little one back here, but larger. Other than that, our camp on the Yukon River, very similar to this camp on the Tanana today.
Dixie, you talked a lot about many generations out there working at fish camp together. Was this then an opportunity for the youngsters to learn more about the survival skills for living in the rural parts of Alaska?
Oh, I think this is an excellent time for the whole family to learn many different kinds of skills. But me and all my sisters, after all the chores were done around camp and the salmon was put up in the smokehouse, we would learn how to tan moose hide, caribou hide. We also learned how to do beadwork, porcupine quill work, and lots of skin sewing for winter clothing. And all these skills we would learn from my mother and my grandmother. But this was all.
And we'll see you all next week for another edition of Jim Wilson's FNN Fishing News Network.